Welcome to PsychicBent. My name is Carrie.
And I'm Kim. We are two sisters wanting to help other psychics learn and grow in their abilities and to help educate about spirits, angels, and everything psychic.
Welcome back, PsychicBent listeners, to our next episode, which is on vortexes, which is very exciting. Kim, so you want to lead us off with vortexes?
Sure. Well, in our last episode, the mention of vortexes popped up while we were discussing things with our sister Julie. So if you haven't heard that episode, please go back and listen to Jules' Psychic Reads episode. During that episode, it popped into my head, hey, you know what? We need to do this one, do some research on these vortexes because they are they can really help with psychic development and such. The question is, what are vortexes? Is that your question today, Carrie?
No, I know what a vortex is.
Okay. All right. So an energy vortex is natural energy that is a swirling center of energy found at different places on the Earth's surface. And vortex energy, it moves in a spiral. It's either moving up or it's moving down. Identifying an energy vortex, it is primarily based on what you are feeling rather than scientific or my left-brained evidence. So they are not confined to one culture or belief system, which means that they're there. No matter what your belief system is, they're there. They take various forms globally, each with its distinct traits and interpretations. So in the Western world, we call it energy vortexes or simply vortices, which are not usually accepted in mainstream science. So mainstream science is saying, maybe not. But when you feel the energy there, you feel it. There's no denying that. In Eastern traditions and holistic healing practices, they're called chakras, similar to the specific energy centers within the body. And it's available on Earth at various locations. So they carry immense cultural and even spiritual significance and importance. Many temples, churches, mosques, monasteries, and places of religious and spiritual importance are built around the energy vortexes around the world. And indigenous cultures like the Native American tribes have their common belief of energy vortices tied to specific landscapes, such as the Sedona vortexes. Now, there's positive energy vortexes and negative energy vortexes. And the positive energy vortex is a location often within nature, and it's radiating with uplifting and vitalizing energy. And when you visit a positive energy vortices, you'll feel increased well-being, inspiration, and a heightened sense of connection with your surroundings. And these positive vortexes, they benefit your mental, emotional, and even physical state, promoting relaxation and spiritual growth. The negative vortexes are locations where the energy is perceived as heavy or draining. And when you visit such places, you might experience feelings of unease, discomfort, or a sense of negativity. And negative energy vortices are often associated with sites with a history of conflict, trauma, or other distressing events such as a burial ground, a battlefield, or haunted places. Maintaining a more positive energy mindset or experiencing peace in these locations, you may find that to be very challenging. And that makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything has energy.
Mm-hmm.
Everything causes energy. A traumatic event causes energy.
Right.
And of course, that's not going to be happy energy,
Exactly. Where are these vortexes found? Now, energy vortexes, they can be found in different geological locations worldwide, each offering its own unique experience. Why don't we go ahead and talk about some of the vortexes that are around the world? Carrie, why don't you go ahead and talk to us about what you have?
Well, I basically have the 5 most powerful vortexes that are in Sedona,
Mm-hmm.
because I just really feel drawn to Sedona. It could be just because it's the closest vortex to us. Could be that,
Could be.
but Sedona, Arizona obviously is well known for its red rock formations, and it does have a lot of mystical energy vortexes, like we mentioned. There's 5 main ones. That doesn't mean there aren't more. These are the 5 main ones that get a lot of attention. Now, Kim was talking about how energy goes up and energy goes down. The energy going up, I believe, is masculine, correct, Kim?
I believe so.
And the energy going down is feminine. So when it's spiraling up, it's masculine. One of the most popular ones is Bell Rock Vortex, and this one is a masculine energy. And Bell Rock is associated with the masculine energy, which is often described as dynamic, active, empowering. It can enhance qualities such as self-confidence, assertiveness, and personal strength. And visitors often report feeling energized and motivated when at Bell Rock. It's a place where you might feel more focused and ready to take on challenges. Many people hike to Bell Rock to experience that uplifting energy. Then there is the Cathedral Rock Vortex. The Cathedral Rock Vortex embodies feminine energy, and that's associated with emotions, intuition, and receptivity. So this energy can promote compassion, self-care, and emotional healing. Now, people often, when they visit Cathedral Rock, they go there for meditation and self-reflection, and in this place where you might feel a sense of inner peace and emotional balance. The tranquil surroundings or awe-inspiring views create a feeling of serenity. Then there is the airport Mesa vortex. Now this one is balanced energy. So that means it's masculine and feminine at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Now the airport Mesa is known for harmonizing energy with both the masculine and feminine energies are in balance. So this balance can promote clarity, equilibrium, and a sense of centeredness. And visitors that come to the airport Mesa are usually seeking clarity and a balanced perspective. It's a place where you might feel more mentally focused and emotionally stable. And sunrise and sunset views from this are supposedly very popular.
I'd like to go there. Just saying.
Yeah, I know. I know. Now, the Boynton Canyon vortex, its energy quality is a magnetic energy. Okay, so the magnetic energy is believed to enhance meditation, spirituality, and connection to the earth. This energy can promote grounding and a deeper sense of self. People that visit the Boynton, and I'm not sure if I'm saying Boynton correctly, Boynton Canyon, they go over there to connect with their spiritual side and engage in reflective practices. It's a very tranquil location, and you might feel the magnetic pull towards inner exploration. And then the Chapel of the Holy Cross Vortex. And this one actually has a cross on it,
Oh,
a little building with a cross. This is energy quality is sacred and tranquil energy. So the Chapel of the Holy Cross is believed to have that subtle yet sacred energy. It's a place of reverence and peace, often associated with spiritual connection and reflection. And visitors that come to the Chapel of the Holy Cross have a sense of spiritual serenity and contemplation. And you just might have a deep sense of inner peace and connection to the sacred there.
interesting.
Those are the top 5. Now, with Sedona, because it's kind of a mecca, you could get tours, guided, tours that take you to these vortexes, but you don't have to do that. You could just get a map and go.
Yeah, right.
The guided tours are kind of expensive, so I'd be getting a map. I'd be finding my way. But that's just me.
Exactly.
So, Kim, what do you have for others?
Some of the other locations that are visited regularly around the world are, not surprisingly, Stonehenge in Wiltshire, England. And It is often one of the first places that comes to mind whenever people think of mystical sites. This megalithic structure was erected between 3000 and 2000 BC and may have originally served as a burial ground or ceremonial site. And some spiritual people estimate that Stonehenge lies at the intersection of 14 different ley lines. So it's no wonder that the place is one of the top energy vortex locations in the world. Now, I will cover ley lines in just a little bit to help explain what that means. But right now, we'll just go ahead and finish with the most popular locations. And we've covered.
Supposedly Merlin's father is buried there.
Yes, that is a good point.
Yes.
Yeah. You can see why there's so much energy there anyway, because of how long it has withstood time. Another one is Machu Picchu in Peru, and it is considered one of the new seven wonders of the world, and it's not difficult to see why. The 15th century Inca citadel rests on top of the 7,970-foot mountain range above the Sacred Valley in the Andes Mountains. And in addition to serving as an important archaeological site, Machu Picchu also delights visitors and spiritual people who come to bask in the majesty of one of the world's best preserved ancient cultural spaces. That is something I would really like to go see. It just looks so amazing.
It has to be if it's one of the seven wonders of the world.
True, exactly. So with a lot of things that have taken place in that area, simply walking on the ground where Machu Picchu stands, you can sense the earth's energy beneath your feet and leave feeling more grounded than you were before your arrival. And then the next one that I found was Table Mountain, Cape Town, South Africa. And Table Mountain is a flat-topped mountain that overlooks the bustling city of Cape Town in South Africa. And each year, nearly 4.2 million people visit the surrounding Table Mountain National Park. In certain esoteric circles, Table Mountain is viewed as an earth vortex, one of the four sites scattered around the world that govern the elemental powers of the earth, air, fire, and water, respectively. Whether you stand at its base or climb to its peak, you can feel the calm but firm energy emanating from Table Mountain. You can also feel healing energy when you go there. The next one shouldn't be a surprise, but maybe it is the Great Pyramid of Giza in Egypt. It's hard to gaze upon the Great Pyramid of Giza and not be filled with awe. It's one of the largest and oldest pyramids of Giza and is one of the seven wonders of the ancient world and has stood tall over Egypt's skyline for 4,500 years. It serves as a symbol of ancient Egypt's power and continued to baffle researchers with its precise measurements and the effort required to construct it. And as it being a pyramid, we all know that there is definitely energy and ancient energy that you feel at the Great Pyramid. Think of all the things we've talked about so far throughout the podcast episodes where we're talking about ancient Egypt, ancient civilizations, and this is that. Giza is actually the air vortex. International physicists have discovered that the Great Pyramid concentrates electromagnetic energy under its base and within its internal chambers. It's possible that the original builders explicitly chose the site for its positive energy. The next one is Mount Shasta, California. With Mount Shasta at over 14,000 feet high, the snow-capped mountains is the fifth largest in California. Many consider Mount Shasta an energy vortex that promotes healing and spiritual growth. It also features prominently in the lore of local Klamath tribes. Sorry if I mispronounced that. It's Klamath tribes, who see the mountain as a sacred site that houses the world's creator and acts as a bridge between the spiritual and natural realms. Regardless of what you think, it's worth visiting Shasta just to experience its power firsthand. That one I thought, what energy you must feel when you get there.
Mm-hmm.
The next one is Haleakala Volcano in Hawaii, also known as the East Maui Volcano. It's a giant shield volcano that dominates the eastern half of the Hawaiian island of Maui. And in Hawaiian legend, the crater at the top of the volcano was the home of the demigod Maui's grandmother, who helped him to create the sun and cause it to rotate across the sky. Certain spiritual people believe the volcano is the fire vortex and ranks as one of the 4 great elemental vortexes. A visit here can help you to connect to the rhythm of your heart and enhance journeys of meditation and self-discovery. I'm just going to do one more. There's others, you just research them, but I think these are kind of familiar ones to people throughout the world. The Uluru National Territory in Australia, Uluru or Ayers Rock, is a massive sandstone formation located in the southern part of the Northwest Territory of Australia. With the elevation of 2,831 feet, it is one of Australia's most significant geographical landscapes, and it's very popular for people to visit. To the Aboriginal people in the area, Uluru is a sacred place and features in several creation myths and folk tales. According to some, if you take a rock from Uluru, you will suffer dire consequences. So thankfully, visitors who witness this massive red sandstone formation leave not cursed, but instead filled with wonder and inspiration. Those are other areas around the world where there are vortexes.
Now, those are all natural formations.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what we talked about in Sedona and the places around the world. But when you have the center of the universe in Tulsa, Oklahoma, which we mentioned that on the previous episode as being a vortex, that's man-made. So you have to wonder when you get into the ley lines if that is something that's happening here. But the center of the universe is like downtown Tulsa. It's a small circle about 30 inches in diameter, and the circle's made up of worn out concrete surrounded by one more ring, which consists of 13 bricks, and then so on. So the bricks keep going around into as it goes out. Anyone standing outside that circle won't be able to hear anything. It's only the individual standing inside the concrete circle that will listen to the echo, so they'll hear an echo. If you try to talk to a person while standing outside the concrete circle, the voice heard will be distorted and unclear. And it's really interesting because the anomaly was created in 1980s when engineers rebuilt the bridge after a fierce fire. So the surface of the circle has been studied by many people, and of course you get some different theories, and of course one of it is a cosmic energy vortex. Some visitors believe that it's the vortex or the ghost of a parallel universe that's toying with us. The theory states that distortion of the sound is because of a different theory is because of a parabolic reflectivity of the circular planters walls that surround the circle. But you might actually drop a pin inside the circle on the concrete surface and expect to hear just a tink, and you might hear a loud crash instead.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so basically it's defying all the laws of physics when it comes to sound and reflection. That's the center of the universe, which is in Tulsa.
Hmm.
So it's got to have some energy there, like like you talked about before. Something happens there,
Mm-hmm.
and energy develops. So I'm just curious if that what kind of vortex that is. It's just I've been there. I've actually been there, and it does have some energy. It's been a while. Gosh, I've been in Tulsa forever, but I mean there was some definite energy there.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Huh.
So I
Yeah,
just wanted to throw that in.
that is so cool. It makes you wonder, was that energy center always there? And then they built around it in the 80s? You know what I'm saying? Were they always experiencing something in that spot?
I think it's unusual that they build a circle and then put 13 bricks around it and then kept going out and out and out. So it was definitely centered
Mm-hmm.
on something.
Right.
But yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and describe or cover ley lines, and then we'll get back a little bit to some more information concerning the vortexes afterwards. So, ley lines are a geographical alignment of the world's ancient megaliths and monuments. They're not lines you can actually see on a map like longitude or latitude. These lines are patterns of supernatural energy that intersect and flow. They can be harnessed by anyone sensitive to working with energy. So, the term ley lines was coined by an archaeologist named Alfred Watkins. He believed that waterways, natural forming ridges, and various routes ancients used as travel routes and migration pathways are all part of this map, although his theory was limited to the British Isles because that's as far as he went with that. So, intersecting ley lines connect vortexes or spiral energy, just like a chakra system. Ley line researcher David Cohen theorized that these spirals or vortexes are either negative, which is the black spirals, positive, which are the white spirals, much like the theory of yin and yang energy. It is believed that vortexes are capable of healing and aligning with our energy as well as Mother Earth. And these ley lines connect all of these together. In other words, these ley lines connect to all of these different ancient structures and energy places that there are throughout the world, and it keeps them charged and flowing with their energy. Some believe that the Great Pyramid in Giza is what helps to keep those charged from ancient times. So I just find it just so neat.
There's a different perspective things you don't think about.
Right.
And I mean, how common does a vortex come up in conversation? Hey, Kim, have you ever gone to a vortex? It's just kind of like things you don't think about.
Yeah, exactly. So I also found you can make pilgrimages and such, as Carrie talked about, to go see and experience these vortexes. I'm going to cover how you should prepare for before visiting an energy vortex or while you're there. I just thought these were neat. When visiting an energy vortex, use automatic writing to ask, and I knew you'd like this one, Carrie. Use automatic writing to ask for guidance from your spirit guides. So before visiting, just spend time alone or with your spirit guides, perform automatic writing and ask questions about the place you want to see and ensure you connect to that site's energy, which makes sense. You don't want to take a trip somewhere and that energy is not the energy that you need at this time. Next is to prepare your body, mind, and spirit. And like a shaman or a spiritual healer, prepare your body by aligning and cleansing your energy through meditation. And some also perform fasting to get their body ready for your meditation and energy work that you're going to be doing at these vortexes. They also recommend that you could follow a special spiritual diet. To clear your energy, avoid alcohol, artificial sweeteners, caffeine, processed food, and red meat. Instead, follow the spiritual diet that includes organic fruits and vegetables, whole legumes, herbal infusions, nuts and seeds, and raw, unprocessed food.
You're going to have some major withdrawals if you do this diet too.
Yes.
So you do have to be prepared for that, because if you're drawn to do the diet route for preparation, there are additives and processed foods that your body kind of starts to crave, just like if you stop eating bread, crave the bread. If you stop eating sugar, you're going to get a headache. Let's go with that. Unfortunately, I know how that feels.
Same. These foods are rich in micronutrients that can increase energy vibrations and heighten consciousness. Now, this makes sense. This doesn't mean you have to be on this type of diet forever. It is just to prepare you for the vortex that you're going to be visiting. Set yourself up for positive change. Ask why you want to visit the place. Is it because you want to revitalize your energy? Do you want to do energy work there? Are you looking to heal? Or is it just a simple visit? Just make your intentions clear before starting the journey and ask for forgiveness. Before you enter the actual vortex, take a moment to reflect on any past actions or thoughts that may have disrupted your inner peace or harmed others. Silently or even verbally, ask for forgiveness. It helps clear negative energies and promotes a state of humility and openness, and allows you to engage with the vortex's power in a pure form. Now, working with the energy vortices can be a paradoxical experience. The changes are automatic and instantaneous, but the sheer amount of energy you encounter, it can be mind-blowing. The vortex will only show you things that misalign with your purpose and no longer serve you for the greater good. So those are things that you can do before entering into the vortex. Now, I also found, do you have anything to add to that, Carrie?
Well, I think that you should have some sort of, I mean, you just don't want to wake up one day going, hey, I'm going to go to a vortex. I mean, you should have, like with any of your spiritual growth exercises, some idea of what you want to gain from visiting a vortex, or what you want to gain from any practice. So I think it's really a good idea, like to go to try to figure out what needs to be done, and meditating and communicating with your guides will help you with that. So I think that was great information and guidance, so you just don't go and can't optimize the experience, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You could actually do automatic writing while you're there too, as part of your meditation, however you want to meditate.
Exactly.
There's a lot of people that go to these. You have tourists that go to these vortexes, and you have people doing spiritual work that go to these vortexes.
Mm-hmm.
So you are going to run into some interesting energy to begin with,
Right.
before you even start the meditation process, or what you're doing, what you're healing, or what you're working on when you're at this vortex. So you have to be really comfortable with what you want to do, because, like I said, there are going to be tourists coming through that may not understand what everybody else is working on,
Mm-hmm.
or what everybody else is doing. You just have to be also prepared for that as well. And plus, you're going to come into other people's energy, not only the energy of the vortex, but the energy that people that are doing their spirit work are putting off as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that exactly. During my part of the research, you know me, I always tend to do a little too much, but here we go. There are apparently, let's start with that first. You actually feel things whenever you are coming to an energy vortex.
No, you do. You do feel things. I mean, because there's energy, and the more sensitive you are to energy, the more you're going to feel.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
how you can tell you're coming upon one is, or that you're at one, you want to stay there without thinking about time. You just stop thinking. You don't want to leave the place. You just want to be there and feel what you're feeling. And when you go into the actual energy vortex, your body language changes. Naturally, your arms may extend and your chest will open up, and you start feeling bliss. You start feeling that energy helping you right away. You might even notice that your spine straightens up, and that's with your chakras. When your spine is straightened, you feel the energy going to every chakra in your body. So your body starts responding to all that. It reaches from the root chakra, sacral chakra, all the way up to the third eye and the crown chakra. You just feel these sensations when you're there. Other people have reported that your gaze will just automatically go towards the sky. When your gaze goes towards the sky, you're opening up your whole position. Your whole system is straightened up, and it's all connecting and running from bottom to top, or top to bottom. Some people just want to sit in that cross-legged position of meditation just so that they feel more grounded, or feel connection with the ground and the recharging that happens with your body. I mean, there's just so many different things that seem to take place whenever you are actually entering into an energy vortex.
And I think that however your psychic development is going, I think that psychically you would really pick up a lot of stuff there.
Mm-hmm.
Whether in addition to feeling the energy, your psychic abilities, I believe, would be really amped up in this type of location. I think that's why like places like Sedona is like the mecca for psychics.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of practicing psychics and things like that because the energy, I believe, of a vortex is going to amp up your abilities.
Oh, I agree with that. Yeah, definitely. Another thing that has been reported to happen is that you'll be flooded with creative ideas when visiting an ancient energy vortex. So, with the spiritual awakening of your consciousness, you'll feel flooded with productive, creative ideas for living life and doing business. And you will feel that you can do business this way, work this way, just hang out there and do your job and have fun. But I think it would increase your creativity. I could see where that could increase creativity and give you ideas because you are open and ready to receive the energy that's around you.
And you're removing blockages,
Mm-hmm.
whether or not you're aware if that's what you're doing or not, but you're actually removing blockages.
Yep, exactly. You'll feel more conscious and more centered. And you may even become more aware of your existence. It's just so many different things.
It sounds like we need to go on a field trip.
Yeah, right.
We need to go to Sedona.
It also relieves so much stress within your body, in your mind, in your thinking, just everything. I could just imagine feeling that kind of extreme peace that would come over you in that kind of a location. It'd make you feel so grounded and humbled by the experience that you're going through.
And it's really hard for me to even just imagine that. Because in our day-to-day lives, even though we're meditating and we're so busy with our lives and our careers or with our families, or just day-to-day living, that it's kind of hard to even contemplate being in a place where everything just falls away.
Yeah.
And then to have that energy, going through you. And it's just kind of, it's just kind of like I'm in awe of thinking of that, like that, how would that feel? Oh my gosh, I want to go try that,
Mm-hmm.
because we get so busy in our lives, so hectic. We try to do our spiritual daily practices and that, but I mean, it's just not the same as going to a vortex.
Right. I agree with that. And another thing is that your sense of ego will go away, at least maybe temporarily, you know, and you feel a beingness, like being there. So this is a shift in ego. And when you can see your ego, you'll also feel beingness, and you start seeing your ego and understand that you are not that ego. So it gives you this cycle of awareness that you can take ego and you can put it away, and then you feel that true sense of your being, your person, without that ego really telling you what you're doing, what you're not doing is ridiculous or nonsensical or
Well,
whatever.
you should always try to work with putting your ego away,
Yes.
as part of your psychic development, because that, but you get so used to ego that you don't recognize it's ego,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a practice you should do regularly. But if you need help, I guess you go to a vortex.
Well, yeah, but I mean, walking into that vortex, it takes that ego away so that you can focus on all
Mm,
of these spiritual developments that you're, or energy work, or whatever it is that you're
working on.
there to work on.
Yeah.
I think that would be amazing to just not have that little naggy thing popping up whenever you're trying to work on development. So,
I don't know. I think if there was a tourist group came through, I think ego might try to might try to, like, I don't know, maybe not ego, but you become self-conscious, I think, which could be part of
yeah,
ego,
that's part. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. But then how do you get yourself to leave,
Well, that's
You know.
something that you have to do. You have to say thank you and Walk out.
But you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, now
Uh-huh.
nightfall's coming now. I don't plan to sleep here all night, but I gotta go, you know. But if it
Yeah.
feels that good, you're kind of like, oh, I don't want to go.
Yeah, exactly. So what else do you have on vortexes?
Well, I mean, you should do research and kind of go if you want to go to a vortex, like you said earlier, you have to try to figure out what is it you're wanting to get from that experience. You also want to see where the best time to visit that area of the world is, so you can, you know, get the most of your experience.
Mm-hmm.
But there's, a lot like places in Sedona, they have a lot of spas, everything for self healing and to really all about spiritual healing and taking care of your body. And I think a lot of these vortexes probably have the same thing where people are promoting wellness. You'll have a lot of crystal shops.
Mm-hmm.
I know in Sedona there's a lot of crystal shops, and but the pictures of these vortexes are pretty unique. They're just beautiful places, and just looking at the pictures of them, you can see where that could be like a spiritual healing type experience.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it would be amazing. They look beautiful.
Hmm. And if you wanted to do some spiritual energy work, I mean, that's the place to go.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got. Well, I think next year you and I need to take it on the road and we go to Sedona
We'll have to see about that.
and we do a podcast from Sedona. Well, I think this was a very interesting episode. You really don't think vortexes as part of psychic development until you get in there and start researching and identifying, what all a vortex is and what all they do. So I think that, if you have a lot of blockages or you're just in an area where you just feel like you need a major spiritual boost,
Mm-hmm.
if, if you're able to get to a vortex, I think that might be very healing.
Yeah, I agree. And I really found it interesting about the ley lines. That is something, and that's Ley lines, since I didn't say that earlier. But do research on those. It's really fascinating that they
Yeah.
power or charge the energy in the vortexes. And they're all over the world. The ley lines just cross all over the world.
All right. Well, thanks, listeners, for listening to this episode of Vortexes on Psychic Bent. Kim, you have anything else you want to add?
Just follow us on Facebook at PsychicBent Podcast, or you can email us with any stories, questions, comments at psychicbent1@gmail.com. And don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, comment wherever you listen to our podcast.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody, for listening. Bye.
Bye. May your light shine bright.
Thank you so much for listening to our podcast, Psychic Bent. If you enjoyed Psychic Bent, please like, follow, rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. We can be reached on Facebook at Psychic Bent Podcast. Our email address is psychicbent1@gmail.com. May your light shine bright.